Hi, Jason. This is Paul from Florida. I'm a long-term member of the TWiST Backchannel. I love it. Want to thank you for making that group available. Now, I have to tell you, I'm concerned and I'm worried, and here's why. When I listen to designers talk about putting up websites, pushing out videos, building SaaS apps, I hear them talk about making things not only mobile ready, but also mobile friendly. And it seems like it's gained so much momentum that mobile's actually even overtaking design decisions, and that's becoming the paramount goal. Now, that all sounds good because I know mobile's really taking off, but mobile consumers seem to like content that's much shorter, that's simpler, and let's face it, sometimes is real controversial or sensational. So with that, as a long-form content producer, somebody who's put blood, sweat, and tears into taking that deep dive on shows like TWiST, getting down to the nitty-gritty and making thought-provoking, deep, conscious types of content, how do you marry that up with competing in the world of mobile? Is the world of mobile going to dumb us down in terms of what we put out there as a product? And how are you going to fight against that as someone who pushes out content like TWiST? Thank you.
Thanks, Paul. It's a great question. You know, we live in a mobile world, which means a small screen size. And it means people are snacking on content while they're online getting their $8 Phil's pour-over coffee or when they're on a bus. Now, this doesn't mean people stop going to movie theaters. It doesn't mean people stop watching things on big screen TVs, reading books, etc. But it does mean that a lot of consumption is going to start on mobile, and the majority of consumption is becoming mobile. When you talk to a lot of content sites, 60% is mobile. The counter to this is you have great things like, let's say, Audible, where people listen to long form and have a book with them all the time. People are watching TV shows on, actual full episodes of Game of Thrones on an iPad or on a smartphone. And, while it lacks the cinematic impact of a big screen TV, it does give you a little bit of intimacy, being close up to that screen, which to me feels interesting as well. Like you're very close up to it and you can see a lot of detail. So, there is definitely a trend here that people want, entertaining short news, but they have always wanted that, right? I mean, MTV was short attention span theater. And when you overload people with short attention span stuff, they eventually feel burnt out and manipulated, and then they go seek out the long form. So actually, there's an opportunity here to take shows like, say, This Week in Startup or Frontline and make short clips that induce people to watch the longer ones. And that's what you're seeing from my team here at This Week in Startups. We're actually making 4 or 5 clips from every episode every week, and we share them on Twitter, and we'll share them on Facebook and on YouTube, and then we tell people watch the full episode and do a deep link there. So I think there's an opportunity to give people a little taste, just like you might have a tray of hors d'oeuvres outside of a great restaurant. They cut slices of pizza into cubes, and they give you a little gateway drug of that little tiny cube of pizza. Now I'm getting hungry. And then you have to come in and buy the slice. Or they give you a little, thimble of the great green juice, and you go in and buy the $7 pressed juicery or $12 pressed juicery or whatever it is. So there are counter trends, and the way I'm handling it is I'll do short form stuff like actually AskJason, which we're doing right now, is a short attention span theater. We get all these done in under 10 minutes, sometimes as short as 5 minutes, and then we move on to the next question, and then it introduces people to the program, and they might say, you know what, I want to just sit back or get on the treadmill or go for a hike and listen to a 3-hour Chris Sacca episode. So the pendulum swings both ways, and you just have to understand the medium and what it's good for. Vine and Instagram, we can use those too. We're having a really good time on Instagram doing 30-second clips. So where's the 20? I can't remember now. So all these trends, they go back and forth, and you gotta leverage them and use both is, I guess, the big answer. Great question, Paul, and a great studio you got there. For more information about the Launch Mobile Wearables and IoT Conference, please visit launchmw.com. This is an event we're doing in partnership with our friends at Pivotal Labs, and it's occurring on October 15th and 16th this year, 2015, in San Francisco at Fort Mason. It's going to be an incredible event. We're going to discuss the fact that in 2005, almost nobody on the planet owned a smartphone, but today, 63% of Americans are using them for over 3 hours a day, which is a lot more than television even. And by 2020, 80% of adults around the globe will have a smartphone. Yes, smartphones, mobile, it's all changing. The history of humanity, where we're going as a species, is being changed by mobile phones, wearables, and IoT, even more than the internet and PC revolutions themselves. And we're going to talk about this with the top 2,000 executives in the Mobile Wearables and IoT event at Launch Mobile Wearables and IoT. You can find out more information about the event taking place on October 15th and 16th here in San Francisco at launchmw.com.